Hello.
There.
Hi there. We are
Nancy.
and Christy from Tales of the Ravenous Reader, and we are here today to talk about Stalking Jack the Ripper. Perfect book for our October book talk.
Yes.
Very excited to talk about this book today. We both read it or listened to it.
Yes.
We both listened to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, in true fashion, decided that we had to buy not only our own copies when we both had ARCs, but signed copies from Books of Wonder. So we special ordered both of us, special ordered those, had them shipped to us. So,
Yeah.
Nancy, give us the 411 on Stalking Jack the Ripper.
The 411. Oh.
So Stalking Jack the Ripper is a historical fiction mystery that uses Jack the Ripper as the backstory and creates its own world based on the time period that Jack the Ripper was stalking and killing the prostitutes.
Prostitutes.
Yes. Yes. So talk about our main character.
Audrey Rose, the protagonist. She's unlike any, I would say, protagonist that I had read that was during this time, because she had certain freedoms that women of her day and age did not have. She was an assistant to her uncle, who was a, what would you say?
Yeah, like mortician, medical examiner, like one of the first medical examiners of the time, really. It was a new thing at that time.
And her uncle gave her the freedom to work with him. So she was in there with their hands deep in the blood and the guts of all that stuff. And she was fascinated by
Very descriptive, by the way,
very,
on
very
the blood and the
descriptive.
guts. So if you are queasy, probably not the best idea for you to read this. And there's even like pictures.
There are pictures
in the book.
I'll look for them and say, but there are really nice pictures. And that's one of the other reasons that we wanted to purchase this, because, oh, let me see, there's some lovely ladies in here, but let me see, that's my name in there.
Oh, yeah, he's awfully lovely.
Yeah, they had somebody with leprosy in there. That's the best one. And oh my goodness, I know that there's pictures in here. So, oh, like, say, here's some, like, early, just, having to do with anatomy and showing all this stuff in there. So
it's actually accurate. It's from 1834, so it's really exciting to have accurate pictures in there, and our nice little blood splatter right there.
That's the theme that runs through for all the chapters, so it's very lovely. So you have this young woman who has these, has this very, how could you say, privileged life, living with her father and her brother.
Who's kind of a hard ass.
Yeah, her dad pretty is. He's not very happy about what she does, so she kind of does it on the slide. Her uncle helps her do it, and she loves what she does. And then an introduction to a body that gets found and how it is killed becomes very alarming to the
community.
Yeah, to the community. So that's how this introduction of Jack the Ripper gets into it. And as the murders become a little more grotesque, there are certain factors that kind of point the killer towards her family member.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
and there's a little bit of an underlying romance plot within it. So, you can't have any kind of a good book without a little bit of romance in there. But it actually doesn't take over the main part of the story, which I love. It really is her story. It's her story in a time when women were supposed to be dainty and at home and buttoned up. And she actually really does those things. I mean, she's fancy and all of that, but she at the same time wants to do this work that women really aren't accepted in. So she pretends to be a boy for a little bit at the beginning, and
kind of get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, exactly. And what I love about it is it takes the story of Jack the Ripper, where there's really not an ending in real life. Like, we really don't know who he was and all that, and creates a backstory for it. And there are more stories coming. So I'm really excited to see where that all goes in the future. So let me see. What about Stalking Jack the Ripper makes this the perfect October read? Why is this so great to read in October?
Oh, for the month of October and all the spookiness that comes with Halloween, it's perfect because it's dark and it's a little bit on the wicked side. It's creepy, it's gory, a little bit romantic, a little bit of everything that kind of makes it the perfect read for this time of year, this time of month. It's just really great. Well written. Yes, there are certain moments in there that, you know, you do want to kind of turn on the lights and huddle under your blankie and stuff, because, it's really good.
It is, and I love the aesthetic on the cover where it's, for one, there's it's like glittery here, and then it's like creepy, and it just really makes you wonder what the mystery is. So it's a mystery, it's a little bit of gore, a little bit of creep, a little bit of romance, but mostly the mystery aspect of it makes it really perfect for an October time. So I'm just curious, both of us read a lot of historical fiction, and it seems like lately we've read a lot of historical fiction. I know I've read quite a few mysteries and historical fictions this time of year. And so what makes Stalking Jack the Ripper stand out compared to all the other historical fictions or mysteries that we've read recently?
I think it's mainly the protagonist. Well, for me, that's what stood out for me the most. That she was from this privileged life, but yet she had this edge that you didn't see with women of that time, and that she was willing to get in there and do whatever she had to figure out what this mystery is. Because she really wanted to get down to it. She wanted to clear somebody's name, but she really wanted to know what was going on, and especially as these murders were getting more and more grotesque, she was just fascinated by it. And that was the other thing. She was fascinated by it and intrigued, but yet she and with a good deal of fear that she had in there. There was that fear that was in there, but she didn't impede her from going out and trying to find out who this person was.
Yeah, right. As a woman living in that time, even though there was this whole oh, you know, you're not one of those women. But of course, when you start doing undesirable things like looking at bodies, you could potentially become one of those women. And what I think really is unique about this one is I actually read another book set in the Ripperverse, really close, called The Daemonic, and it was great. It was really great, and I would recommend it if you like Stalking Jack the Ripper. Really, really great. But what I think is really unique about Stalking Jack the Ripper is it's actually under the Jimmy Books Press, which is James Patterson's new youth imprint, which is so funny. I read so much James Patterson as a young adult. I think I read everything by him when I was a teen, everything by him. But there's a lot of polishing, and you can really tell that the people who are marketing this book really understand the marketing aspect of it, the aesthetic, and who to reach out to, and it's just really polished, and so I really enjoy the mystery. I did not anticipate the ending until there's a point where she walks through a door, and I was like, oh my god, I totally get it now. But before that, the mystery was totally lost on me, although when you go back and think about it, all of the clues are there.
And you're kind of thinking, oh, it could be this person. It could be that person. And you're like, no. And you're trying to figure it out yourself. And then when you get to the door, and you're like, no. That totally. But
I was in my car driving, and I was like, what? It cannot be. It cannot be. But it is. It was.
Of course, I do like the romance, though. Romance is pretty nice,
So what do you think what would you want to see in book 2? I'm not sure if this story can continue. I mean, obviously the Ripper story is solved at the end, so you're not left waiting like who might be Jack the Ripper. You find that out. What would you like to see in book 2? What do you think would be a good direction for Carrie to go?
I would like for, I don't know if it's spoilerific or so, but I would like to that where she is going to, that she gets accepted in that way, and that she's able to grow and flourish in it. And I do hope that if there is a romantic entanglement possibility, that gets a little further down the road. I don't know. There might be. There might not be. I'm not saying anything, but I would like that.
See, and I'm curious if this series, and I haven't read enough like blog tours and stuff to know, but I'm curious if the series is going to be like standalones within a series, or if it's going to be like a continuation, or like is there going to be like a different period of time that they go to, like maybe not different period of time necessarily, but like what is the next mystery that we're going to have be solved through somebody's like assumption of what could have happened,
or what's going on during that time. So
right, exactly. So are we going to jump forward? I'm just really curious about where to go next. because Jack the Ripper is there's so much mystery, but we know so much. We know a lot about the victims. We know a lot about the time period it was set in. We just don't know about the person or their motivations necessarily, which this book solves. So I'm really curious to see if the next story will be the same or if it will be a continuation.
Something different. So it's eager because it's so well done. You could tell that she did the research on it very well. Very historically accurate, down to what they wear, how society portrays women, and an investigation kind of process. So because it's very it's like in the beginning stages. This is where you could say it's like their CSI kind of started off from these points. It's very fascinating.
I actually Googled at times because I'm so terrible at this. I remember when I was watching the TV show 11/22/63, which I had read the book, and they were talking about ambulances and how they just weren't really a thing in that time. So when I was reading Stalking Jack the Ripper, I was looking up when did they discover certain CSI techniques to see how accurate the book was. And I was pleasantly surprised, maybe not even pleasantly surprised. They were all factual. It was really true to the time period, which I really enjoyed.
And that's really cool.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. So we really want to know if you've read Stalking Jack the Ripper or what other books you might recommend to those of us that like mystery and maybe a little bit of gore. The freezer books, as Nancy would say.
I put them in the freezer. I'm totally Joey.
If you don't know that reference, look up our Stranger Things post because there's totally a YouTube clip in there. And next month, I had an update from our last book talk. I am about a half hour from the end of On the Fence by Casey West. As I went through and marked all of those, it is so great. I'm so glad I picked it up. I think it's better than P.S. I Like You.
Oh, it's really?
Yeah, I really do. I really do love it.
That's a new one.
No, it's not the new one. It's an old one.
Oh, it's
really good. Yeah, it was really good. I actually got it on my library. And if you want to follow along with our book talks, next month we are reviewing the entire Firebird trilogy, which is by Claudia Gray, and we're super excited. This one right here got me into it after it was part of a puzzle
so good.
In our Forever Young Adult Summer Showdown, and I was hooked from the moment. So I'm really, really excited to, for one, have the third book come out, which is we're a week out from that, right?
Yeah.
2 weeks. And then have us talk about it. So if you're excited about it, let us know because we could potentially be doing a video cast if you wanted to. So thank you guys for listening to our book talk for October.
And look, we even have pictures. Look.
That's right. Nancy brought all of her cards and she loved the aesthetic and the artwork that went along with the book.
So, put it up there.
Looks really good. We'll take some pictures to show you guys.
Okay.